Hi there, Scott Wessex Blades. Thanks for joining me again. Apologies for no real footage or uploads over the last week. I haven't been very well. The productions took a back seat, so I'm not working on pieces of work whilst I'm ill. The announcement today is that I'm going to be opening my books as from the upload of this video. I'm going to update the website. And this is orders for knives and sheaths, as opposed to people sending a knife to have a sheath made for it, or resharpenings or customizations of existing knives. This is just literally for my knives, normal orders, knives and sheaths, just so I can keep it simple. So the first thing you do is, if you could email me wessexbladesuk@yahoo.com, and then once we're in contact email wise, I'll give you the way in which we can use your photo ID to verify your age, and then once that's done for trading standards and that's all out of the way, then a deposit, and then all the details of what blade you want, what handle you want, the leather work you need doing for it, dangler or ferro rod, and all those details can get put on your page on the next available slot. These orders are basically for 2020. My waiting list is about 12 months. So if you can understand and bear with the wait for a handmade bespoke knife, this is a sort of time scale that I can work with. Unfortunately, I'm not really making 6 knives the same, 6 basic sheaths, and then selling them at the end of the month. I'm only really getting through about 1 knife and sheath on average every week. So if I take 3 at a time, what would be the next 3 in the book, or I can take the next 2 because they're similar, and then double a few other ones in with them. It works out at the end of the month, after I've done 4 knives, it's still just 1 a week. So that's my production rate. But what I'd like to have thought that what's been documented on the website, and that you've noticed, and I'll bring attention to it again, is that when you've ordered in a certain time and it comes around to me working and picking up your order in the future, the actual way that I make the sheaths, or the way that I've made the knives, I've probably took 2 evolutionary steps in the time since the order was started to when I'm actually picking the order out of the order book in order to start it. So an example being that the ferro rod tubes now are a lot more flowing when it come off the sheaths, and that takes a lot more cutting and all sorts of weird and wonderful things inside, so it all looks like it flows before I start shaping it. The non-stitched across belt loops there, I don't put holes in the actual leather more than I have to, so it's gone down and around, but I haven't put any more holes across, just because it's more like saddlery. So I don't want to weaken the leather any more than I have to, even though the leather is really starting, it's overkill, it's belt and braces. So like the stitching is lock stitch, 2 rows, with a really thick, it's in my mind, I'm trying to make something that's going to last 50 years. So you end up, and this could be to your grandkids, it's going to pass through at least to the next generation, and ideally to the 3rd. So a lifetime of use and maintenance. So you know, it's not something that's made to simply sell something and then move on. This is something that's made and built to last. So that's just the lever. The steel that I use has had an additional heat treat, so it's got a partial bainite on it, which involves a slightly different grain structure. It makes it ever so slightly tougher, but it hasn't lost any hardness, even though it's gone through that additional stage. The glue that I use is for boats, so I'm using G-Flex West system. It's pretty good stuff. It stays rubbery as opposed to a brittle hard plastic. You know, it's not like a hard brittle toffee. It's more plastic, so it'll give with the seasons a lot better. The woods, generally speaking, unless it's something like a cocobolo or maybe a mahogany or a blackwood, ironwood, those woods could be stabilized so there's no warpage, no ingrain of water, because it's been stabilized with an impregnating resin that's been oven cured. And when it comes to woods like something like this plum, you get some lovely colours on it. If it was really punky, I can then stabilise that as well. So there's a lot of techniques that I use to make something last as long as possible when it comes to the knives. Just take that step forward to make it worth the amount of time I spend on it. I really do as long as I can on it before I let it go. Once you've had a look through my website and choosing a few knives, there are actually, I'll make you aware, I do parangs now, and I do a new shape kukri. There's a few other videos out and about, but I'm just going to do a really quick video now that my books are open, and look forward to seeing everybody's contacts, and then we can get you in the book as soon as possible. And then once I've got this lurgy out the way for the next couple of days, I can crack on with production, and then we can have a few more updates with it. But this is just really for rather than strange like redos of old tools or family heirlooms. This is standard knives and sheaths from the Wessex blades range that obviously would be bespoke and custom, but it's not something for like redos, refurbishments, MODs, or just sheaths for knives sent in. This is simply for knives and sheaths from the Wessex blades range. So thanks for joining me again, and I look forward to hearing from anybody who's looking forward to getting an order, and thanks for joining me again.